Welcome to episode 18 of the English Sessions, Grow Up, part of the phrasal verb series. I am your host and English teacher, Mike Butler. These podcasts can help you improve your English. Together, we will talk about grammar, pronunciation, structure, and have some fun, too. Remember to visit my website, www.englishsessionswithmike.com, to contact me for private lessons and for more content. You can also read the transcript of this audio on the website as you listen to this episode. Listen for these words today. Harsh. Harsh today means severe or rude. Example, John was very harsh to his girlfriend. What a jerk. Feisty. Feisty, in today's context, means very lively or full of energy. Our puppy, Greta, is always feisty. Stick. A stick is a thin, long piece of wood that has fallen from a tree. My dogs love to chase sticks. It's time to talk about phrasal verbs. Let's break it down. Verbs are words like go, have, do, be. They are the most important part of a sentence. If you don't have a verb, you don't have a sentence. Instead, you just have some words. Phrasal verbs, sometimes called multi-word verbs, are verbs that need more than one verb to complete its meaning. You often see a phrasal verb as verb plus preposition or verb plus adverb. Phrasal verbs are important because a phrasal verb almost always has a different meaning than the verb by itself. For example, bring and bring up. The main definition of to bring from the Oxford Dictionary is to come to a place with something. Mary will bring wine to the party tonight. Bring up has the same verb, but that little extra word completely changes the meaning. To bring up means to raise a child. In other words, to care for a child until the child becomes an adult. The girl was brought up by her grandparents. Today we will talk about the phrasal verb grow up. We will also talk about grow. One is a verb, the other is a phrasal verb. So that means they have different meanings. Let's first talk about grow. If something grows, that means it increased in size. Example, the tree grew to a very large size. My puppy, Greta, is growing very quickly. She's already so big. The verb grow can also be the action that someone does to help something grow. For example, I am growing many plants in my garden. I grow plants. The plants grow. I grow plants. I give them water. Then the plants grow more and more and more. There are other definitions for grow, but this is the main way to use it. I'm keeping things simple today. Now, grow up. Remember when I said that phrasal verbs will have a different meaning compared to the main verb by itself? That is typically true. Sometimes the phrasal verb will have a similar meaning, but the phrasal verb meaning often is more specific. So, grow up means to go from childhood to adulthood. In other words, to become an adult. We often use this to talk about where this happened. For example, I live in Bisbee, Arizona, United States of America, but I grew up in Rochester, New York. I spent all of my years as a child and became an adult in Rochester, New York. I grew up in Rochester. So yes, it has a similar meaning to grow. I did become bigger as I went from being a child to being an adult, so I did grow during that time, but it's more specific, more subtle. In another way to say it, I went from being immature to mature, although I think some may argue that fact. Grow up is often more about maturity, about mental development or advancement. In fact, that's why it is common to tell someone, hey, grow up, when they are doing something that seems immature. That's the basic lesson today. So you can turn off the podcast now if you want. However, for more advanced learners who want to learn something more complicated about phrasal verbs, then come back after the break.